All right, let's dive into some seriously smart strategies about how to approach people about new opportunities.
Yes.
We're using steps to approach and contact to guide us today. And wow, this is packed with advice. I think we can all relate to that awkward feeling when you want to reach out to someone, but you're just not sure how.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're going to decode all
That's
that.
for sure.
So one thing that really stood out to me was this idea about using urgency as a tool.
Uh-huh.
But I'm a little skeptical.
Okay.
Doesn't rushing things usually make people less interested?
It is kind of counterintuitive, yeah.
Yeah.
But think about it this way.
Okay.
When you project like a subtle sense of agency, it sparks curiosity.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Why is this person in such high demand? What am I missing out on?
Yeah, so it's kind of positioning yourself as someone whose time is valuable.
Exactly.
Not in a bad way, but like, you're
Intentionally
selective
purposeful.
about who you connect with.
And there are some really clever ways to do this.
Okay.
So, for example,
Yeah.
instead of a typical opener like, do you have a few minutes to chat?
Right.
Try something like, hey, I know you're incredibly busy, but I just had to connect with you about this. You're acknowledging their time is precious while also piquing their interest.
So it's not about pressuring them, it's about respecting their time, but conveying that this conversation is worth it.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
And another tactic the guide suggests is actually using specific time constraints.
Okay.
So instead of saying, let's talk soon, try this. I've only got about 10 minutes free right now, but it was important I reach you.
Oh, okay.
You're showing you value their time and you're creating that sense of urgency.
Okay, I can already see how that would make someone sit up and pay attention.
Right.
But I'm also thinking about, like, the tone.
Oh, for sure.
Like, this could come across as pushy if it's not done correctly.
Tone is key. You're absolutely right. It's about finding that sweet spot between friendly, confident, and respectful. Almost like you're giving them a heads up that this conversation is about to be really valuable for both of you.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we've got their attention with a touch of well-placed urgency.
Okay.
What's next?
Compliments.
Compliments.
Okay.
Before you roll your eyes
Yeah.
and think,
Okay.
oh, cheesy compliments, let's talk about the science behind why these work.
Okay.
I've been on the receiving end of some truly cringe-worthy compliments.
Yeah.
But I am curious, what's the psychology behind it?
So when you offer a genuine compliment, it triggers a positive emotional response. Think about it. Who doesn't love to feel appreciated and recognized for their strengths, right?
Yeah.
And it instantly makes people more receptive to what you have to say.
Okay, so it's not just about, like,
Buttering them up.
buttering them up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about setting a positive
Yes.
and open tone for the conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the key.
Okay.
The compliment has to be both relevant and sincere. So steps to approach and contact gives a great example.
Okay.
Instead of just like a generic, you're awesome,
Right.
try something like, I've always admired your approach to, and then fill in the blank.
Okay.
Like something specific they do well.
So it shows you've done your homework
Exactly.
and you actually respect their work.
You got it.
Yeah, that's a world of difference.
It is.
Like, I can already see how someone would be much more open to hearing about an opportunity after a compliment like that.
For sure.
You're building a foundation of mutual respect right from the start.
You've got it. And that sets the stage perfectly for extending the invitation itself.
Okay.
But there are different ones to do even that.
Okay.
The guide breaks down invitations into 3 distinct styles:
Oh, intriguing.
direct, indirect, and super indirect.
Okay. I'm dying to know more about these invitation styles.
I know, right?
But I think we're going to have to say that for the next part of our deep dive.
I agree.
Yeah.
We'll break them all down and explore when to use each one effectively. So get ready. This is where things get really interesting.
All right.
All right, so you've piqued their interest with some well-placed urgency.
Okay.
You've laid the groundwork with a genuine compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to extend the invitation.
Right.
As we touched on before, Steps to Approach and Contact outlines 3 different styles of invitations,
Yes.
each tailored for a different scenario.
Okay.
So let's start with the direct approach.
Direct approach sounds pretty straightforward.
It is. This one's best when you already have a relationship with the person,
Okay.
like a trusted colleague, a longtime mentor, someone you've already got that rapport with.
Makes sense.
The focus here is on mutual benefit.
Okay.
So you could say something like, I've got this project that I think could really benefit both of our businesses. Have you got some time to brainstorm with me?
So it's collaborative.
Yeah.
You're coming at it as a team,
Exactly.
which makes sense for someone you already have that foundation of trust with.
Yes.
But what about when you're reaching out to someone new?
Okay.
Someone who maybe has a lot of experience in a field you're just starting out in.
Okay.
That's where the indirect approach comes in.
You're catching on quickly.
Right.
The indirect approach is all about positioning yourself as someone eager to learn.
Gotcha.
So let's say you're reaching out to a successful entrepreneur you admire.
Yeah.
Instead of going in with a direct pitch, you might say, I'm really impressed with what you've built with their business,
Right.
and I'm just starting out on a similar path.
Okay.
Would you be willing to share some insights on a specific challenge you're facing?
Oh, so you're not asking for a favor. You're offering them a chance to share their expertise.
Exactly.
Who doesn't like to feel like a wise mentor?
Yeah, you're subtly positioning yourself within their world
Okay.
and creating a genuine connection, which can be so much more powerful than a hard sell.
Right, right.
Now, are you ready for the most subtle approach of all?
Bring it on.
The super indirect.
The super indirect.
This one is all about being super low-key.
Okay.
The super indirect is your secret weapon for getting referrals.
Oh.
So instead of pitching your opportunity directly,
Mm-hmm.
you're tapping into their network.
So less about join my team
Yes.
and more about who do you know who might be a good fit?
Precisely.
Okay.
So for example, imagine you're at a networking event.
Yeah.
You could say something like, I'm looking for ambitious people who are passionate about whatever your industry is.
Well.
Do you know anyone who fits that description?
So you're piquing their curiosity without putting any pressure on them personally.
Exactly.
Got it.
Now, what if someone bites?
Yeah.
What if they say, tell me more?
Yeah. After you've used the super indirect approach, how do you handle that?
That's where steps to approach and contact gives us an insider tip. They
Yeah.
say, tell me more. You simply reply with, it makes sense you'd want to understand it. Before referring anyone, let me give you the quick rundown.
Oh, brilliant.
You're acknowledging their interest, but also staying true to that initial referral
Yeah.
focus.
Okay, I'm loving these approaches.
Yeah.
But isn't there a risk of overthinking it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know which style to use in the moment?
That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
These aren't, mutually exclusive. You
Go
can
back.
blend them. You can adapt them.
Yeah.
You can even use a combination
Go for
depending on who you're talking to in the situation.
Right.
And the more you practice, the more intuitive it becomes.
So it's less about memorizing a script
Yes.
and more about developing like a flexible communication style that feels authentic to you.
Exactly. And that leads us to another crucial point. The guide emphasizes
Like, yeah.
the importance of confidence
Okay.
and genuine passion.
So how do those two things fit in?
Well, remember how we talked about the importance of tone when conveying urgency?
Yeah.
Same principle applies here. Your
Yeah.
words are important, but it's your energy that really sells it.
So even if I've got, the perfect phrases memorized, if I come across as hesitant or unsure of myself,
Yeah.
it's going to fall flat.
Exactly. Think about someone who you find truly inspiring.
Okay.
What is it about them that draws you in?
Right.
It's their belief in what they're saying.
Yeah.
It's their genuine excitement.
Right.
That's what makes people want to listen and get on board.
It's about tapping into that authentic enthusiasm,
Yes.
not just faking it.
For sure.
Yeah.
When you're genuinely passionate about what you're sharing, it shines through.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
Right?
That's what makes people sit up and take notice.
I'm getting fired up just thinking about it.
I know, me too.
All right, so we've talked about the power of urgency, genuine compliments, the 3 invitations styles.
Yes.
Now, the importance of confidence and passion, this steps to approach and contact, is a gold mine. Is there anything else we should highlight?
I think the biggest takeaway is this. Approaching and connecting with people is a skill.
Okay.
It's not a talent you're born with. It takes practice.
Right.
Don't be afraid to experiment and see what works best for you.
Yeah, it's like learning a new language.
It is.
It feels awkward at first, but the more you use it,
Yeah.
the more natural it becomes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So go out there, connect with people, and see what amazing opportunities unfold.
Right.
You might surprise yourself.
Awesome. Okay, so to wrap up our deep dives into steps to approach and contact, if you could give our listeners just one piece of advice to start using today, what would it be?
Focus on being genuinely curious about the people you're connecting with.
Okay.
Ask questions.
Okay.
Listen actively.
Mm-hmm.
Let your passion shine through.
Right.
People are drawn to authenticity.
Yeah.
When you approach conversations with genuine enthusiasm and respect, it makes all the difference.
It all comes back to building real connections,
Yeah.
not just going through the motions.
Fact.
Like you were saying earlier, it's about understanding the psychology of the connection, not just memorizing a bunch of lines.
Networking shouldn't feel forced or manipulative.
Yeah.
It's about finding common ground, exploring possibilities, and creating those win-win situations.
All right, deep divers, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From the power of urgency and genuine compliments
Yes.
to those 3 distinct invitation styles:
Absolutely.
direct, indirect, and super indirect.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired.
Me too. I'm ready to step up my networking game.
Me too.
It's been great breaking down these strategies
It has.
and exploring how to approach these conversations with more confidence and authenticity.
For sure.
So as we wrap up,
Yeah.
we want to leave you with this.
Okay.
Think about those 3 invitation styles:
Okay.
direct, indirect, super indirect.
Yeah.
Which one feels the most natural to you?
And which one might push you a little outside your comfort zone?
Ooh, I like that.
Because that's often where the most exciting growth happens.
That's such a great point. Sometimes we need to challenge ourselves to try something new,
Right.
even if it feels a little uncomfortable at first.
It's worth it.
So which approach are you going to experiment with this week?
Remember, confident and authentic communication is a skill that can be honed with practice.
Yes.
So get out there, connect with people, and see what amazing opportunities unfold.
Until next time, deep divers.
Keep exploring
Keep learning.
and keep diving deep.
Bye, everyone.